A man cleaned out his late father's dresser last spring. In the back of a sock drawer, he found an old folding knife. Cracked bone handle. A little rust on the blade. A shield he didn't recognize. He sold it at the estate sale for $10, glad to be rid of it. The man who bought it resold it 8 days later for $1,400. The son had no idea what he was holding. You might not either. There are 10 old pocket knives that collectors are quietly hunting right now, in 2026. And most of them look like junk. Worn bone, a dull blade, a snapped off tip, sitting in a junk drawer or a cigar box in the basement. One of them gets thrown straight in the trash during cleanouts because people think it's worthless. It's the most valuable knife on this list. And here's the part that should stop you. Unlike the cheap stainless knife you bought at the checkout counter, these don't lose value. They gain it. Every single year. Before you price one at $1, before you toss anything in a cleanout pile, watch this first. Drop a comment right now with the oldest pocket knife sitting in your house. Tell me the names stamped on the blade. I'll tell you whether you're holding a hidden jackpot or actual junk. Coming in at number 10 is the Schrade Old Timer Stockman. People price these at $5 because there are millions of them. Every grandfather in America carried one. That's exactly why you're making a mistake. Schrade made these in Ellenville, New York, until the factory closed in 2004. And the day that factory shut its doors, the supply stopped forever. The import knives that carry the name now are not the same object. A real USA-made old-timer with saw-cut handles, carbon steel that takes a razor edge, and the old-timer shield has a fit and a snap that a $4 gas station knife will never have. Clean USA-made examples bring $30 to $150 now, and the rarer patterns climb higher every year. Check the tang. If it says USA, don't set it back down. The next one is a knife people throw away because it looks military and plain. Next up is the Camillus Electrician's Knife, the TL29. It looks like nothing. Plain metal, a screwdriver blade, no flash. People toss it in a coffee can with the loose screws. Here's what they don't know. Camillus, out of Camillus, New York, made knives for the United States military for decades and closed in 2007. The old USA Camillus steel holds an edge longer than the imported stuff hanging in the hardware store, and the screwdriver blade was built to be pried on without snapping. A plain TL29 brings $20 to $80, but Camillus-made military and sword brand knives in clean shape go well past that. If one's rattling in your toolbox, that is not scrap. The next knife came from Germany, before the war. That brings us to the pre-war Boker Tree brand. A cheap German knife from today rolls its edge in a week. This is a different animal. Look for the tree stamped into the tang with the Boker name. The pre-World War II examples from Solingen, Germany were ground thin and hard, and the bone and stag handles were fitted by hand. Modern factory knives can't hold those tolerances. Pre-war tree brand stockmen and trappers in honest condition bring $50 to $200, and the stag-handled models go higher. If you've got one with a worn tree shield, wipe it down and keep it. The next one wears a dog's head, and most people have no idea what that means. Now we have the old Union Cutlery Ka bar, the dog's head. People see Ka bar and think of the fighting knife, so they walk right past the old folders. The early ones were made by Union Cutlery in Olean, New York, and the premium models carry a two-piece dog's head shield inlaid right into the handle. That dog's head is the tell. Those knives were built before the brand was sold and moved, and collectors hunt them specifically. A clean dog's head, Ka bar, brings $75 to $300, and the rarer examples go far beyond that. Don't price it like a modern Ka bar. The next knife is one almost everyone's grandfather actually carried. Another one worth keeping is the Schrade Walden. People assume it's the same as the import Schrade you can buy today. It is not. Schrade Walden, New York, USA, stamped on the tang, means it was made between 1946 and 1973 in Walden, New York. Real carbon steel, real bone, built when the company answered to a standard instead of a price. An Uncle Henry, or a Walden Stockman in clean shape, brings $40 to $150, more for the scarce patterns and anything still in the original box. Read the tang. If it says Walden, you're holding the real one. The next knife is worth more than most people's wristwatch, and it's been ignored for 50 years. Every knife from here forward is rising in value right now. Not someday. Right now. Selling one isn't just losing a knife. It's handing the next guy money you didn't know you had. If this is useful, hit subscribe. I drop a video like this every couple of days. That brings us to the Winchester pocket knife. Yes, the rifle company made knives from about 1920 to 1942, and most people have no idea. A real one is stamped Winchester, made in USA, with the trademark. And because the line only ran about 20 years, the supply is permanently small. The tang teeth were machined to bite. The handles were genuine bone and stag. A common pattern brings $100 to $300. The scarce ones, the big trappers, the premium handles, bring many times that at knife shows. If you find one with the Winchester stamp intact, you are not holding old hardware. The next one is the most famous folding knife in America, and the early ones are the Sleeper. Next on the list is the first generation Buck 110 folding hunter. There are millions of 110s, so people assume they're all the same. They are not even close. The 1 in 10 launched in 1964, and the earliest ones, with the inverted two-line stamp and the first pin patterns, are what collectors chase. Ebony scales, brass bolsters, and that blade that started a whole category. A common later 110 is a $30 user, but a clean first version, two-line example brings $150 to $500, and well beyond for the earliest years in the box. Look at the stamp and count the lines. The next knife folds a guard out of the handle, and almost no one knows what it sells for. Now we have the Marbles folding safety hunter. People see a big, heavy folding knife with a strange hinged piece and think it's broken. That hinged piece is a folding guard, a Marbles patent out of Gladstone, Michigan, and it's the whole point. Marbles built outdoor knives to a standard that serious collectors treat like fine guns. The folding hunter, with its guard locked open and the Marbles stamp on the blade, is aggressively hunted. Clean examples bring $150 to $600, and the early Pearl and Stag versions go higher. If you've got a heavy old folder with a guard that swings out, that is not junk in a drawer. The next two knives are where the real money hides. Subscribe if you want to keep finding value where everyone else walks right past it. These last two are where the gap between what the seller knows and what the buyer knows is the widest. That brings us to the Case Tested XX. Case is the most collected pocket knife in America, so people think they know what they have. They don't read the tang. Tested XX, not Case XX, not USA, just Tested XX. That means it was made between 1920 and 1940, and that single stamp changes everything. Red bone, genuine stag, mother of pearl, the case oval shield, and hand-fitted blades with a snap that modern production cannot match. A tested Gieksik in honest shape starts around $200, and the stag and pearl whittlers and the scarce patterns climb into four figures fast. Most people selling Grandpa's case have no idea the word tested is worth more than the knife looks. Read the tang before you price it. And number one is the knife people gave away for a few dollars, right before the market figured out what it was. Taking the top spot is the Remington bullet, the R1123 Trapper. Remington only made pocket knives from about 1920 to 1940, and the bullet, named for the bullet-shaped shield set into the handle, is the cornerstone of the entire hobby. Serious Remington collectors say no collection is complete without one. It sold new for $2.25. Today, an original pre-1940 bullet trapper in honest condition brings 4 figures. And mint examples, with the right blade etch and a clean bullet shield, go far past that, into the thousands. Here's why it's number 1. It looks like an old worn trapper. A person cleaning out a relative's house sees a cracked handle folding knife and puts a $10 sticker on it. The collector who knows that bullet shield does not hesitate. Look for the round bullet shield in the handle and the Remington stamp on the tang. That is the difference between $10 and a small fortune. These 10 knives aren't valuable because they're old. They're valuable because they were built before disposable was the default. Hand-fitted, real steel, real bone. Made by companies that answered to a standard instead of a price. That's why they hold value, when everything stamped out after them falls apart. If you already own 2 or 3 of these, you're ahead of most people in the country, and you didn't even know it. Before you sell another old knife for pocket change, check the dresser drawers, the cigar boxes, the tool boxes, and the barn shelves around you. And read the tang before you price anything. Drop a comment right now. Which one do you already own? And which one did you sell before you knew what it was worth? Next time, 10 old knives that turn up at estate sales with the wrong price tag, and the one stamp that tells you it's worth a fortune.